The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The main detractor of the dengue immunization program is now taking up cause against COVID-19 vaccines. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us the front seat to the story.
The head of the country's public defenders has come out in defense of those who have chosen not to be vaccinated. Attorney Persida Acosta, head of the country's public attorney's office, said the no vaccine, no right policy being enforced since Monday violates both the Constitution and the COVID-19 vaccination law.
Yung Republic Act 11525, yung an act establishing the Corona Disease 2019 Vaccination Program, na sinasabi dito na ang vaccine card ay hindi mandatory for purposes of transactions, for educational and other purposes.
Acosta says she's not yet vaccinated against COVID-19 herself, saying she's still waiting for what she calls a protein-based vaccine.
At yun ay pwede sa akin, sabi ng aking mga doktor, dahil ako ay may hypertension at meron akong history ng serious allergic reaction.
In an interview with One News Agenda on Wednesday, Acosta said those who are vaccinated should be the ones isolated or quarantined.
Dahil kasasaksak ng virus dapat may 14-day quarantine ang mga bakunado. Dahil isinaksak sa kanila yan ang teorya para ma-immune.
Dr. Lim Quezon of the National Advisory Technical Working Group on COVID-19 disputed Acosta's assertion. Quezon said that while some vaccines do contain the virus, these are already in an inactivated state and in no way contagious.
Hindi naman buhay yung virus na in-inject sa'yo. So it's not possible at all that you will be carrying the virus itself.
In addition, Acosta said she had been getting reports that even those vaccinated against COVID-19 are still getting infected with COVID. Dr. Quezon said that they have repeatedly stressed that these vaccines do not prevent infection.
They said you have up to 7 to 10 times less the chance of getting hospitalized if you are vaccinated. And then the risk of dying goes up to 90% less.
After Attorney Acosta's controversial statements, Senator Franklin De Leon urged Malacanang to bar Acosta from reporting to work to be consistent with their no-vax stay-at-home policy. He was also worried that Acosta's statement could encourage vaccine hesitancy, which the government is trying to address. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
NTF advisor Ted Herbasa has come out to address the concerns of PAO Chief Persida Acosta regarding COVID-19 vaccines. Recall that Acosta earlier made claims that she's still unvaccinated because she's waiting for a protein-based jab. Acosta implied that all existing vaccines can't be trusted because these contain a portion of the virus in them. Herbasa says that it is true that some jabs contain an inactivated form of the virus, which is exactly what produces the immune response. But Herbasa explains that this doesn't make the vaccines dangerous or unsafe.
Technically, what part of what she's saying is true, but a lot of it will not harm you because, how many billions na bang na-inject all over the world, di ba? And there's still some side effects. Some people may have complications with it. Some people have died after the vaccination, but is it cause and effect related? Was it due to the vaccine or some other illness?
Cebu City is again encouraging families to go under household lockdowns as COVID-19 cases spike. Cebu City Mayor Michael Rama told One News' The Chiefs that under Executive Order 157, people who do not have any essential tasks are urged to stay at home at all times. Minors aged 11 and below are meanwhile not allowed to go outdoors. And to stop hospitals from getting overwhelmed, Rama says only individuals with severe and critical cases of COVID-19 will be admitted, while the rest should isolate at home.
Meron kaming sinasabing noon pa, I reiterated it, yung household parental lockdown. Yun ang lockdown na doon mismo sa bahay na. Hindi na yung barangay pa magla-lockdown, city government pa magla-lockdown. Back to basic tayo. Pag walang ginagawa yung mga tao sa bahay, wala namang ginagawa, dapat gawin sa labas, doon lang sa bahay.
A barangay captain from Pampanga was gunned down by a motorcycle riding assailant. Authorities are still trying to find out whether the killing was politically motivated. Here are the details.
This CCTV footage caught the arrival of a captain or Barangay Santo Niño Rainier Asban at a gas station in Guagua, Pampanga. He parked his vehicle near the tricycle of a barangay tanod who was manning a checkpoint in the area. A few moments later, another motorcycle arrived at the scene. The passenger alighted, approached the barangay captain, pulled out a gun, and shot him at close range. Before the riding in tandem left the area, they again fired shots. Out of fear, barangay tanods ran for their own lives, leaving their barangay captain on the ground. Asban was declared dead on the spot.
Pupunta po dapat sa sa Ecogas. Bibigyan lang po niya mga pangkape yung mga barangay niya po. May tumawag po sa amin sa bahay. Po yun, umiiyak po yung sekretary niya. Nabaril daw si Kap po.
Asban's family says the barangay captain has no known enemies and no one has ever threatened his life before.
Sana matulungan niyo po kami. Kasi kawawa naman po siya, wala po siya laban. Sobrang bait niya po.
The brutal killing of the barangay captain was condemned by Guagua Mayor Dante Torres and other officials in Pampanga.
Tinambangan siya in line of duty. Sinusupervise yung mga barangay tanod sa pag-checkpoint nila. Wala kaming reason nag-isip nga kami. Ano reason ba't siya papatayin?
First time ito na nangyari. Sana hindi maging election related itong nangyaring ito, kundi it's either natatakot ba yung tao o magagalit yung tao. Yan lang ang pupuntahan nito Takot at galit lang ang pupuntahan nito. Kung matatakot yung tao, siguro nanalo yung gumawa.
Authorities have yet to determine whether the killing was politically motivated. Asban is one of the 31 barangay chairmen in Guagua who expressed support for the candidacy of former Candaba Mayor Danilo Bailon, who is now gunning for Pampanga's gubernatorial seat. Bailon recalled tension between his camp and that of incumbent Governor Dennis Delta Pineda, which started when Bailon's group attempted to distribute cash aid in Barangay Lambique. The chairman of the barangay supposedly barred them from holding the activity, saying they don't want politicians in the area and that it was not the time for campaigns. Despite the tension, Bailon says they still proceeded in distributing ayuda and holding a Bible study in the barangay.
Hindi natin alam kung magkakaugnay yan, pero bakit natapat ngayon na malapit na eleksyon, di ba? Kaya sana, wag naman nilang idamay ang mga taong walang sabihin, mabubuting tao, walang kasalanan, na maging biktima pa.
Asban's family is now calling for justice.
Sana makonsensya ka sa ginawa mo sa kapatid namin.
The camp of Governor Delta Pineda has yet to comment on the incident.
Many couples are reportedly struggling to procreate during the pandemic. But that's just one of the reasons why the country is currently seeing a huge slide in our population growth rate. Ryan Ang with the story.
The population growth rate in the Philippines has reached its lowest after 75 years. The Commission on Population and Development said that in 2020, only 900,000 were added to the country's population. 1.5 million babies were born during this year, which is 150,000 lower than in 2019. 608,000 individuals have died. In 2021, 1.1 million babies were born and around 700,000 people died.
Last year, our population grew by only 300,000 or below 400,000. The last time we had that kind of population growth was in the post-war era of World War II, 1946, 1947. We have been consistently adding more than 1 million to the population every year.
Perez said they actually expected the population growth rate to increase because family planning and health services will be affected by the pandemic. But things went the other way around.
By November in 2020, we conducted a survey with SWS, and we came out with this already, the results of this back in late 2020, that in November 2020, women were afraid of one thing, that was unplanned pregnancies. They did not want to become pregnant during a pandemic and during an economic crisis.
Perez added that in recent years, fewer people decided to get married. Compared to the 440,000 couples who got married in 2019, only 240,000 couples got married in 2020, and that number improved just a little last year.
Women are opting not to have children during this time when you have a health as well as an economic crisis. So those are decisions that couples are making during a unique period of time.
Psychological issues like anxiety and depression due to the pandemic might have been a factor as well. Couples are also finding it hard to procreate as their families are all in the house due to the pandemic.
The sexual intimacy is being taken aside because there are a lot of issues that you have to deal with. So hinahayaan mo na yung pagigigil. Ang pagigigil para makapagkaroon na ka ng pagkain araw-araw, may trabaho ka. Yes. Iba, hindi ka magka-COVID.
Another thing that should be considered in the decrease of population growth is the migration of residents to other countries and the fact that most millennials today are planning for their future more carefully.
Madaming mga millennials, they know how hard it is or how hard life is. So nakita ko mas iba yung focus nila eh. Ang focus nila is to really be stable financially at parang kaya pa nila mag-live-in muna, not have a child, just be financially independent. And I think that works. Nakikita ko, di ba, there is the increase of the millennials, number of millennials or young adults now. So ang hindi katulad sa panahon natin na parang wala pa siya masyadong family planning.
But for the Commission on Population and Development, if it's any consolation, at least more women are now using family planning methods.
Actually, that is good news for us because all the factors there, increased family planning use leading to lower population, which is actually what we were working for. But around 2025 was when we thought that would happen.
Yusek Perez added that the baby boom that happened after World War II is unlikely to happen again because unlike then, there is already a family planning program available today.
I'd like to give some assurance to Dr. Bates. Now, the last time we had a baby boom was after World War II. However, family planning as a program only started in the Philippines in 1969.
Okay.
So it was not there in time for the baby boom.
Yes.
But now, if we have, if that is something that might be on the horizon, at least we have a family planning program and many methods to choose from.
For News 5, Ryan Ang, we are One News.
And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 10:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.